It is frequency in use. Dumb question because there's nobody there except for me. This is Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey net control for the Mount Juliet Simplex radio net. Is there any emergency traffic? And we'll include priority too. Nothing heard. If you have an emergency, call 911. And if you can't do that, just get on the horn and call us here. As they say, the horn. I haven't heard that in a while. Just call us here and we'll call it for you. Just make sure you have your address handy. We don't want to look it up on QRZ. Might even be wrong. Net may be broken anytime for emergencies. For information on the set, you can see us right on this net. See us right now on YouTube. You won't see us, but you'll see my screen of my radio, and you will hear my voice, and you'll also hear other voices when they come on from their radio stations, in case you can't hear them on your antenna. But you can see that. Put in my call, K4PEW, in the search block on YouTube, and you can come right up. You can get excited about looking at this my radio screen here. Let's see. Oh yeah, you can see us. You can see some information on Simplex in our group on the 146.415.net, just like the frequency, except without the decimal and without the. We add the net on the end. Yeah, it's 146.415.net. Neat stuff there, I think. And then you can also join our email list or just see our net schedule on groups.io. It's groups.India Oscar. And just do a search for MJSS for Mount Juliet Simplex Society. And you can sign up for emails, for which we do announcements for both our own nets and other people's nets in the vicinity. And 180 or so of us have found it quite useful. We also, it's a good place to post if you're selling something or you're looking for technical information. So anyway, that's groups.io, India Oscar, GROUPS.India Oscar. The purpose of the net is to have fun. Realize where your flaws are, where your weak points are in your antenna, feed line, radio, headphones, or maybe it's just a short between the ears. But that's what you're looking for here is a Simplex gets you a chance to see how well your station works. Unfortunately, some people, lots of people actually have working with a deficit. They're in a low elevation or they don't have the current budget for a really great antenna or a really great elevation, or they've got a homeowners association problems or whatever, but everybody has to deal with what they've got and work their site to their best advantage. Whatever that is, without breaking the bank, without breaking the XYL rules, without breaking the homeowner association rules, county, city, state, federal rules, and FCC rules. I don't think there's any more rules. We don't have any rules. We just abide by other people's rules. Well, unfortunately, I guess. We invite everyone to use the net to announce amateur radio events, etc. The only announcements I have tonight is this is net number 738. We're starting from the east. We'll be doing a 2-meter net here on this frequency, followed by a 10-meter net on 28.415 upper sideband. Does anybody have any other announcements? Hey, Tony, you want to do the Santa Net announcement?
Well, sort of, kind of. I need to get in contact with someone who has a full version of Zoom for the Santa Net. Not the free 40-minute version, but somebody who's actually gone out and paid for one and uses it for business or whatever. And no, please do not go out and buy the full Zoom because it's like $150. So please don't do that. But if somebody, and I know you're out there, has the full version, somehow get a hold of me before Christmas Eve so we can set up a Zoom session for Old St. Nick. KF4, KFQ.
Very good. Tony, if you couldn't hear Tony, and some of you may not have, he does a Santa Net on the 24th of December every year. And been doing that as the 20th year, and he's hoping to get someone who can lend him their full version login for the Santa Net, just for that one day, no other purpose, rather than have him drop $150 for what is amounting to a free service he provides to children on Christmas Eve. So if anybody's got that, contact Tony. Tony, is your email good on QRZ? I don't remember.
Well, it's tony.proctor@comcast.net. Again, Tony, Tony.proctor, TOR@comcast.net.
Okay, for those of you who didn't hear it, it's Tony, Tony, .proctor, Proctor, at comcast.net. If you have any questions, just let me know later or let me know by email or whatever. We just need a full copy of Zoom to borrow for an evening. That's all we need. I say we simulcast the event, but he wants to do a part of the project on Zoom for access for people who have Zoom. I say kids who have Zoom. Adults who have Zoom, I'm not sure kids have Zoom. Anyway, any other announcements?
And as always, tonight's net is brought to you by the Earwax Collectors of America. KF4, KFQ. Back to net.
Very good. And they're associated with the Earwax Candle Making Association?
No, they split off several years ago.
Yeah, it was over tinnitus, I think.
They had a fight over Q-tip access, actually.
Yeah, who was going to get the Q-tip endorsement going? All right, very good. That was Tony, KF4, KFQ. Any other questions about that? Write me or write him or write the Earwax Collectors Association. All righty. Any other announcements?
KM4YRF.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to come in. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing good. Don't forget the 10-meter net tomorrow or Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. to 8415 is the place to be. And I'm going to be a short timer tonight, Paul.
All righty, I'm logging you in right now, whether you liked it or not.
I like it.
All right, that was Michael, KM4YRF, looking for, well, not looking for, but announcing again. What I didn't announce was that's the 10-meter net. We have one tonight, and there's also another one Sunday night at 7:30. The tonight's it right following this net, but Sunday night at 7:30 on 28.415, and it's really the mid. They're labeling. It's been labeled, mislabeled, misappropriated. The mid 10 net for Mid Tennessee 10-meter net, and it's on 28.415 upper side. Mike has been doing an able job for going on 2 years now, so it's running right along. I'm guessing that over time that's going to pick up some speed, just like this net does. And you don't have too much to handle. Well, might have dropped off. He was mobile. Anyway, that was Michael, KM4 Wire Up, and that was Michael. And he's in Belshire normally, but tonight he is he's here in Mount Juliet. Who else? Well, let's take people short on time. Please come in.
Kilo November 4, Tango Juliet Fox.
Kilo Echo 4, Romeo Victor, Quebec, Brent, Mount Juliet.
Hey, hold on, Brent. Let me take Rick first. Hey, Rick, you doing okay?
I'm doing okay, Paul. How are you, man?
Doing great, other than I got to fix that antenna we talked about earlier.
Indeed, yeah. You were back there just very slightly, but I could hear you, but just kind of.
Yeah, it must have been your fault.
Oh, it is. It's my fault for sure.
Very good, Rick. Good to have you in there. That was Rick in Ashland City, short on time. Kilo November 4, Tango, Juliet, Foxtrot, Ashland City. I think I heard Brent in there. And your call is KN4 RVQ. I forget. What is it?
Kilo Echo 4, Romeo Victor, Quebec, Brent, Mount Juliet.
Yeah, very good, Brent. I just forgot your call. You got to check in all the time. You got to check in like 50 times in a row for my memory to sink in. You know?
I totally understand. Have the same problem.
No, it's really not that bad. It's yeah, it is that bad sometimes. How you doing?
Doing great, Paul. Doing great. Enjoying this new antenna, and it seems like it's working pretty good.
Oh yeah, it's doing good. I didn't notice that. It looked like it was over 40 over. I'll have to look again when you come back.
Okay. Yeah, hopefully it is. Like I said, I've been able to get it and made my footprint go up quite a bit.
Yeah, it's 50 over actually. Just bumping up on 50 over.
Good deal, Paul. Well, 73, thanks for coming back to me, and I will talk to you next week.
Very good. That was Brent here in northwest Wilson County. Kilo Echo for Romeo Victor, Quebec. Name is Brent. Good 40 over signal. That's awesome. Didn't used to be that good. I don't know what. I think it was probably a combination of height and antenna. Anyway, who else is short on time?
84 CVE Mobile.
Hey, how you doing there, Greg?
Doing good. I just hit a good spot here. It's been a little hashy tonight here, but I'm in a good spot here. I think receiving you well.
Yeah, you're picking fessing a little bit, but the audio is just fine.
Alrighty. Well, I don't have much, but I will see you all on the other end.
Very good. Drive careful. Ignore us. That was Greg. He's mobile. Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo. Normally in Antioch, but he'll be there for the 10-meter net in a little bit. Who else? Anybody else short on time? All righty. Well, any first-time check-ins, please come now. Don't be shy. I'm going to have to buy some first-time check-ins. That's the only way we're going to get some of them. Had a guy check, just as a point of interest, Ken and I, Kilo Victor 4 Delta, and I were talking yesterday evening, and a guy came in, Kilo 4, I think it was Kilo 4 Lima Echo November, and he was in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, which is, I looked it up, it's like 80 miles from here. That we had some excellent band conditions, and he was coming in real good. It sounded like he was only 10 miles away, but not 80. So it's kind of neat having somebody come in from that far away here locally. Anyway, it's always good to have somebody come in, but at 2 meters to have it come in 80 miles, that's awesome. He didn't have any more than I have. I think he had a X700 antenna. No, he had an X510 antenna. My mistake. I forget which one he had, but I think it was the X510. Anyway, who else is anybody else? We're starting from the east, and we don't have any first-time check-ins or last-time check-ins. Please come now from the east.
WA4ZHI, James, and not Juliet.
There, I think there was somebody else, but I got James. James, everything okay with you?
Doing fine. Doing fine. Paul.
Yeah, very good, man. Your signal's so big now. It's bigger than it ever was.
I have to stop and think what your name is.
That's all right. Hey, don't. Sometimes I have to think about what my own call is.
I was going back. Oh yeah, his name is Paul.
No, it's funny how it's funny how things can get tangled up in the brain. You don't have to be old to have that happen either. You know how a word won't come to you, or a name. And what's bad is remembering names. You can see somebody in your environment, whatever that is, your work environment all day long. You see them at the mall, and you go, "Who the heck is that?"
Well, I recognize most of my family.
Oh no, family's a whole different story. But I'm just saying people you work with. Anyway, everything else well, good. Nothing for the net.
Yeah, I spent most of this afternoon updating the software on my Mac computer, on Apple computer.
Is it that tough to upgrade, or is it just a big process?
Just a long process.
Yeah. Which model Mac do you have?
Oh, I don't know what the name of it is.
Yeah, it's the long-suffering Mac, obviously. Well, very good. Well, I hope that all went well. Did it?
10, 15 years ago.
Oh, really? Did it go okay, the upgrade?
Yeah, it works for upgrades, but it takes a lot of time on it.
Yeah, well, I've never felt that I needed to have an Apple computer. I hear nice things about them, but they were a little pricier than what I had wanted, and so that's why I didn't buy them.
Well, I have a Dell computer too, but I've had the Mac for a long time. I thought you were trying to put it to use.
Oh, I see. I got you. Very good. Very good. Very good. That was James here in Mount Juliet. That's a Whiskey Alpha 4 Zulu Hotel India. That's Whiskey Alpha 4 Zulu Hotel India. Anybody else east?
KI4SIB.
An SOR?
And SOR.
By popular demand?
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I was beating myself up outside today at trimming trees and shrubs and fallen piles that I had collected up over the last 4 or 5 weeks to drag them out to the street to have the Mount Juliet shrub police come and pick those up.
There you go. Make themselves useful as well as ornamental.
Yeah, no, I never know when they're coming by. So like today I called them and I said, when they coming by? And as well, there's they have the zones of Mount Juliet, which I'm probably sure you're familiar with. Sounds funny, the zones of Mont Juliet. anyway, that they're in the zone. The next zone would be us, but doesn't know when they're going to get to me in the next day or two. And I hate to pile up a whole bunch of crap on the lawn out by the street because over up here, if it's waiting a week or 2 weeks, and I got a big patch of dead grass out there.
Yeah, that's never any fun. Hopefully they'll get it out of your way for too long.
Oh, they will. No, it's their good group. I mean, they don't have a fixed schedule because it depends on how much stuff is out there on the highway.
There you go. All right, carry on. Thank you for what you do, and I'll advocate you when I can. 7-3 to everybody on the net tonight. KI4SIB shutting up. Talk to you later.
Hey, let me know. Do you have one of those Bofang 8-watt jobs?
I do the 82 HP.
Yeah, you do. Do you have two of them?
No, I've got two 82, but only one HP.
Okay. No, I was trying to find one used. I wanted to know if you had more than one.
Well, if I had two of them, you could have one of them.
Oh. No, I think I'll be able to find one. Those things they're like white on rice, man. There's enough bullfangs out there to cover the earth.
Absolutely are.
Anyway, that was Richard and Stephanie. They're west of downtown Lebanon, KI4SIB and KI4SOR. Who else is east?
KM4HQE.
Hey, Stan. Hold on one second. Your signal sounds really good tonight.
Yeah, I tried just the mic. I don't know if that helped or not.
No, I think it did help a lot. It really sounds good.
Hey, thanks, Paul. I won't hold you up back in that KM4HQE.
Very good. I'm glad I could be of service for a microphone check, and it really does sound good. That's Kilo Mike for Hotel Quebec Echo, Stan, and he's north of downtown. Who else is east? Anybody else east?
W4 EBS.
Hello, Eddie. You doing okay?
Yeah, doing okay. Just enjoying this cool weather. Trying to get a few things done before it starts to go.
Well, yeah, cool weather's good, but it's also I'll just say, I don't want to say dangerous, it's not the right word. It can be a health hazard. Like I was out in shorts and a t-shirt today because I was working, climbing ladders and trimming shrubs and hauling stuff out to the road. And you had to use a chainsaw to cut up some tree limbs to put them out on the street. And, I'm standing out there, and when you stop working and you're covered with sweat, it starts to feel really cold.
Oh, yeah. It was a little breezy at times, too.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice to have a cool day to work outside and sunny on top of it,
Yeah, we took a little trip to Granville and drove around. Leaves hadn't started to turn real good yet.
No, my trees would be the first to go because I have 3 maples, and all 3 of them would really be noticeable.
Oh, okay. All right, well, thanks for doing the net and carry on. W4 EBS.
Although my dogwoods do turn a funny color, but they're not real pretty.
Yeah, they are pretty.
All righty. Well, they are when they're blooming, that's for sure, in the spring. That's Eddie, Whiskey 4 Echo Bravo X-ray. He's in Gladeville. Who else is east? East or north?
KB9RKK.
Hey, what's up there, Mr. Frank?
Doing good. I can certainly relate to what you're talking about. At one point, I was getting up to where I was riding 60 miles on the bike on the trails, and when it gets cold, especially where I used to live, it'd be 20 degrees out, and you would be sweating. But boy, if you stopped, you were in big trouble.
Oh yeah, no, I used to go through the same thing when I'd ride a bike when I was up along the Canadian border there. And it's along the river, and well, it was actually there was a two-edged sword. The wind would come out of the west like it does everywhere else, and so in one way I was going, I'd be fighting a 20-mile-an-hour wind, and on the way back I didn't even have to pedal.
Yeah, no, that's what I used to. Yeah, we didn't have the wind thing. This was on the river as well, but it was very hilly. So I used to just tell myself, when I get up to what goes up must come down. So you catch your rest on the downhill part. But yeah, I would overdress
first time, I did it. I got over. I wore way too much clothes. Everybody kept telling me you're going to start sweating really bad. It feels really cold, but once you start really going, you're going to sweat and everything. And sure enough, when we stopped, and all we stopped for was to go get lunch at a place right off the trail. Oh man, I thought I was going to freeze to death.
Yeah, no, it is true. In fact, when I still do. I finally did come in, and then I worked out before dinner, and of course, working out makes me perspire even more. And so, and it was sitting in the house though with a soaked T-shirt on. Man, I had to change my clothes.
Yeah, no, I understood. Yeah, no, so I had to once we got done eating and everything. I remember that I had to take that extra layer of clothes and try to tie it up under my seat post or wherever I can, so I can haul it back the direction 30 miles and get back to where my car was parked. But yeah, it was. You learn right away. When you do really heavy work, you get hot, and but if you start sweating too much and then that wind hits you, yeah, it's crazy. But even like you said, even indoors, like if there's a vent blowing or a fan, and I have to at least change my shirt.
Oh yeah, no, I had. You reminded me when I was living up in my hometown there for a couple of years there in 2009 to 11, or well, almost 12, 2009 to 2012. I'd be out shoveling snow when it was a really couple of real big snowstorms. Yeah, that's work. It's like shoveling anything. And you're out there for an hour and a half, especially in the evening, and you're wearing a heavy coat, and a heavy duty hat, and you're wearing heavy gloves, and usually just jeans, but it's warm, it's cold, you're working hard enough that you keep warm, but when you go in the house, when you're done, your t-shirt and your shirt underneath that coat are soaked.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, snow shoveling. I've always known. When I used to do that, that you get hot, and everything. But it's just, But when you're riding a bike and you're outside and you're thinking all the wind and but you know what? It's still if you're really pedaling that much, you're still getting the workout. But yeah, I don't miss that. Even though we have to do that maybe once or twice a year.
Yeah, it's good for you though. Good for your heart.
Yeah, no, we ended up doing. My neighbor and I ended up doing just about half the block here. We had, some of the older people, some of the older ladies. We just go ahead and show everybody's driveway and everything. Um, yeah, nobody has a snow blower.
Yeah, nobody has a plow either.
What's that?
Yeah, it's funny when you live in a winter climate, you'll see people there. They'll have a plow that fits on with a plow attachment on their Jeep or on their lawn tractor or their pickup truck, or and they'll be sitting in the front of the garage or on the side of the garage.
Oh yeah, I have buddies that still do that. That's how they make extra money during the winter.
Yeah, some of them even have contracts to go out to the local supermarkets. Anyway, that was Frank here in Northwest Wilson, Kilo Bravo 9 Romeo Kilo Kilo, talking about things that most people don't want to live in: that heavy snow, heavy ice, heavy cold. Anyway, who else is north?
WB0NOO, Mark in Northwest Wilson.
Hello, Mark. You doing well?
Doing well. I know what snow is. I spent 4 years in Cedar Rapids.
What were you doing in Cedar Rapids?
Oh, I screwed up, and Motorola sent me to Cedar Rapids, and they said if I screwed up one more time, they were sending me to Fargo.
Well, I'm not sure which is worse, quite honestly.
Oh, it was fine. Uh, we had a couple of kids there, and that was about all there was to do.
Yeah, I'm not real familiar with Cedar Rapids, but you don't hear people getting all excited about Iowa.
No, nobody does. My territory was from Omaha through northern Wisconsin, so all of Iowa and Wisconsin. It was a lot of driving.
And that was all just sales and marketing?
It was all service.
Oh, I wasn't sure. Yeah, okay, cool. It's still a lot of travel.
Oh yeah, it was.
my friends said they were surprised we actually had the time to have a couple of kids.
Yeah, well, they did. Obviously, they did give you a company car, a company vehicle.
Oh yeah, I think I wore out about 3 of them in 4 years.
Yeah, I can believe it. Boy, that would be bad though in the winter, especially Iowa to Wisconsin. It'd be horrible.
You know, it really wasn't all that bad because they took care of the roads out there. Um, Not like around here, So they're used to it, and I know that the snow would be piled up on either side of my driveway between Thanksgiving and Easter. So I pretty much had snow all the time.
Yeah, it's a good experience though. That's why you moved back here, right?
Uh huh. It sure is. Anyway, have a good evening. We'll be listening.
All right, Mark. Appreciate it. I'm glad you're there. That was Whiskey Bravo Zero November Oscar Oscar. That's Mark up in Northwest Wilson. Good signal. Who else is north?
This is Kilo Oscar 4, Kilo Juliet X-ray, Jamie and Bethpage.
Oh, Jamie, your signal sounds good.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I'm running the ICOM 2300. It's I got 65 watts. I've got it running into my little homebrew Yagi up on the mast, about 30 feet above me. So it's that's the best I got, I guess. Anyway, I'm hearing everybody so far since I've tuned in, which was maybe 7 minutes into the net. So I've heard everybody very clearly up here. So everybody's sounding good so far.
Very good. How high up is that home? That's it. Is that two element Yagi or three element? I forget what you told me.
Yeah, it's a 3 element, just arrow shaft Yagi. It's up on a 31-foot mast. It's one of those TN07 engineering. I think they're 31 feet, but it's got it attached to a fence post up in the air. So it's probably 35 feet above me. But like I say, I'm down in the valley. The level is probably about 650 feet where I'm at, but I've got hills all around me up to about 1,000 feet to the highest ones around me.
Yeah, no, I can kind of detect that you're over because really with your beam, if you were at a better elevation from Gallatin, you'd be 30 or 40 over because I know some other guys who've checked in from Gallatin. Better elevation sound great. With that beam at 65 watts, you should be in your gangbusters if you had the elevation.
Yeah, and I'm actually watching the YouTube feed on, while I'm talking, and looks like, I mean, everybody else was, like pegging the needle, and I'm still S5 on your meter there. So, and you're about out of S5 as well into my meter. So it still sounds good. Everybody sounds, perfectly clean copy. So anyway, hey, I wanted to also remind everybody that we were going to do our Sumner County net on 147.555 tomorrow night at 7:30.
Oh, yes, very good. And that goes out on an automatic email to the 180 people as well. So it goes out. But by the way, the net tomorrow night is 7:30. Simplex and he's in Portland, right? The net control.
Yes, that's right. Up in Portland, and of course we're going to be relying on relays very much so because none of us have nearly as strong of a station as you do. So we'll just see what we can do. We'll have to. It's just like building a fire. You just have to have enough logs to keep the other logs going, and if we get enough of us, we'll be able to make it a success.
Yeah, very good. Hey, listen, I'd really be disappointed. No, I think everyone on the net might be disappointed for those that are watching their signals here on my screen to know that I got a rheostat here. I can just make it look like anywhere you want.
Ah, very good. Well, I don't have any tricks up my sleeve. This is just natural.
No, I'm just kidding. It'd be kind of funny. They used to have jokes about that in the game shows. Anyway, that was Jamie and Gallatin. Kilo Oscar 4 Kilo Juliet X-ray. Who else is north?
Kilo Delta 4 Victor Uniform Whiskey, Carlin, Bethpage, Mount Vernon, Angel Town.
Hey, very good, Carl. I ain't heard from you in a little bit.
Yeah, I've been kind of under the weather for a little bit. The neuropathy's been kicking me real good and hard.
Yeah, I have some of that myself. It's not real bad though, and it's just I notice it sometimes more than others.
Well, I've got 2 on the front part of my legs that will get the stinging. They've got me on the medicine and stuff, and the neuropathy was to such a point that I was passing out. Doctor explained what was going on, and when you stand up, your veins in your legs are supposed to, compress down to keep the blood from flowing out of the top part of your body down to your feet. And with the neuropathy, apparently it was not allowing that to happen. And I would feel like a thing of heat go through my head, and the doctor told me that was the blood rushing out of your head. And he put me on some something penton. I can't remember what it is, side penton or something like that. And the bad stuff that stopped the fainting. But the bad thing about that stuff is it makes you walk like a drunk. No matter how hard you try, I've got where I can walk pretty good, but from my waist or my belt line down, I'm just kind of goofy feeling, and I don't know, it's aggravating. So, but anyway, that's why I haven't been on here. There's been times I just didn't feel like getting on the radio or even getting up out of bed. I was so doggone wore out and stuff, and that's my next biggest problem. I just lost all my strength. I'll have to see about getting my strength back. I don't know what that doctor's going to do about that, but anyhow, that's why I haven't been around lately. Anyway, you're sounding good up there. You're 60 over or full S units. And the other fella that just cleared before me, I thought he was at best page also, instead of Gallatin. I'm up here on one of these hills. My elevation is 958 feet, so I'm way up here. And to let him know I'm running a CX333 tri-band antenna, tip top, maybe about 38 feet off the ground, if he's still listening. But anyway, that's about the size up there, and I guess I'll turn it back over to you.
Yeah, very good, Carolyn. Yeah, I'm sorry you're having to go through all that. I know that I had, without going into detail, I had a serious health problem in the early 2000s. It went on for longer than I would have ever wanted. And I had severe, and it wasn't neuropathy. That's a secondary issue to me. But I had severe pain and muscle cramping, and it stopped me, if I let it, from being active. Because I knew that I had to keep active, because the one thing that I learned a long time ago, if you don't stay physically active, you start to lose, like you said, you lose the ability to do things. And so I'm not joking. I could, if I started walking, just walking, not running, not jogging, walking, and I'd take the dog with me, I'd go for as long as a walk as I could stand, sometimes about 5 miles. I'd walk. I couldn't get 100 feet without my shins feeling like they were, I'm not joking, on fire. And I said, I'm not stopping. I don't care what it feels like. There's no redness, there's no swelling. It was a nerve problem. And I kept after it day after. I'd do that I'd put up with that. And I mean, the pain was intense. It really was. I put up with it for maybe a half a mile. I'd stop. And as soon as I stopped, the pain would go away. It was just something messed up. And I had relief for a minute or two. Then as soon as I started walking, I came back again. And I put up with that for, I can't tell you how long, but I knew I had to keep doing it. If I didn't, I'd lose the ability to even ambulate if I kept it, if it stayed that way, and I'd only get worse.
Yeah, well, all this stuff happened to me the very next day after they put me on the metformin. They prescribed metformin to me on the 1st of March. I had it filled and took it that night. When I got up the next day, that's when I had neuropathy and all the problems I've been having. I was getting around like I always did since high school and stuff until that happened. And the only thing I could figure out, I was allergic to that stuff. I was freezing to death. It could be 90 degrees outside, and I'd go out and I would be shivering. And it also kind of affected my eyes. It's like looking through a freezer bag. Everything's in focus, but it's like looking through a freezer bag. Now, it's got a whole lot better because I come off that form in the second week of April. I told them I just couldn't take it anymore because it was making me sick. And my stomach, I couldn't eat. I was losing weight. got knocked down to about 137 pounds, which is, I may be 140 now. I've gained 2 pounds back. I'm having a heck of a time trying to build my weight back up. And I think if I can get my weight back up some, I can get some strength going again too. So, but they got me on insulin now, but things are slowly, very, very, very slowly getting better. Anyway, let me turn it back over to you. Let some more people check in here and get off the medical net here. So anyway, everybody's sounding good up here to me. So I'll be clear after you.
Yeah, very good, Carlin. You're 30 over here. Yeah, I'm sorry you had to go through all that, and all due to unknown reaction. You know, nobody knew you'd react to a drug like that. That's horrible. That's sounds really, really horrible. I'm glad you survived it, because worse things could happen. Anyway, that's Carlin. He's in Bethpage, Kilo Echo 4 Victor Uniform Whiskey. Good signal, 30 over from Bethpage. Who else is north?
Kilo Charlie 9 Echo Tango Sierra Paul North Mount Juliet.
Yeah, you're not too far north, Paul.
Just barely.
You're doing okay.
Yeah, real good. Getting ready for the colder weather here. Got the boat out and winterized it and putting it away.
Yeah, that's the trouble with boats, man. They need work.
They do, but so far this one hasn't been too much work, just the yearly maintenance. So I'll take it.
Yeah, it's the boat motors that are the maintenance.
As long as you take care of them. I mean, you know, it's like cars. There's a lot of things that can go wrong.
Yeah, I think I may have told this on the net before, but my wife, I only met her 10 years ago, and she, she knew I had been in the Navy, served on a ship, and did a lot of stuff overseas. And she says, "I'm surprised you don't have a boat." And I go, "Why is that?" She goes, "Well, because you were so familiar with, being on the water." I go, "The reason I don't have a boat."
They're all boated out.
I don't need any boats. I have never even been on a cruise. I've been on a couple of, those short ferries. In a ferry in where was that? A ferry in Oakland. I think I was on a ferry there going from Oakland to San Francisco or vice versa, and that kind of stuff. But no cruises. I've had enough of the open ocean.
Yeah, I haven't done the cruise either. The wife used to work on cruise ships a long time ago, so she's like, "No, I'm good."
Ah, very good. Yeah, the problem with the cruises is too much food, too much drink, and too little activity for me.
Yeah, I like to go on my own schedule.
Yeah, very good. Good to have you in there, Brian. Paul, I'm still looking at the name I just wrote down because you didn't hear him probably. But that's Kilo Charlie 9 Echo Tango Sierra Paul here in Mount Juliet. Brian, is that you?
Okay, 3CCP. Just checking in. Wondering about this ferry you rode from San Francisco to Oakland. That's too much information.
Yeah, it's just a boat, just a big old boat that goes across the bay. So how are you doing? Haven't talked to you in a little bit. Doing all right?
Yeah, we got over with Roy and got his friend came over, climbed his roof. They got the beam up, and I finally got this 7-Eleven to come on, but it doesn't have any audio. So there's always one more thing, but I think it's better now.
Oh, you did get to get that radio running?
Well, it receives a signal, it transmits a signal, but you can't hear. I mean, I don't know if anybody can hear me or not on it. I'm going to try it sometime later after I find out what's wrong with the audio.
Oh, that's great. You're making some progress.
Yeah, it's not just a big, boat anchor. I guess I can't use it to hold my boat in the lake now.
Well, it's really not a radio. It's a project.
Yeah, it's an experience. Like, I get to go all over the world and see devastation and stuff.
Well, sometimes the only lesson you learn from one of those experiences is you don't want it again.
Yeah, I think that's it. Although I'm bidding on another radio, I think.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I saw one of those radios I was interested in, but I can go out and buy a brand new one similar to that. The only difference is that like an 857D, you know, I'm going to be paying over $400 for a radio. I don't know what it's going to final out at. And it's, you know, and for not too much more, I can get a brand new radio that doesn't have we're a similar size. It's just missing a couple of the features. You know?
Oh, there's somebody on QRZ that had three. I don't understand it, but he had three. They might not have been 857s. I think they might have been 706 MK or something. I don't remember, but there's three of them. The guy actually, you know, he's on $500-$600 a piece. I'm thinking, why would you have collected three of these things that work? So maybe they all have the same kind of problem. He fixed three units, or maybe he's just got a fetish for units.
Maybe you had one for the house, one for each of two vehicles, or a boat. Who knows? Or a cabin. Who knows?
Yeah, well, he was a POTUS, so maybe he just left them in the park.
I don't know. I don't know. But everything else going well?
Other than I'm fighting with dental insurance, I'm fighting with Verizon, I'm tangling up with, you know, you name every one of the things that you have problems with, I've got them. Started off Monday with that. Monday was not a good day.
Oh, wow. Sorry to hear that. Maybe you need an attorney.
Yeah, I could have used an attorney, but I need one that's cheap.
Well, you know the deal. You get what you pay for.
Yeah, well, I was thinking of going down to Vanderbilt, talking to this year's graduating class, see which one wants to take on a class action.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not sure they'd know how to do that. Anyway, that was Brian up in Hendersonville. Kilo Alpha 3, Charlie Tango Papa. Um, good, really good signal for tonight. Sounds good. Who else is north? Please come in.
Kilo 4 Golf Sierra Alpha, Mike in Clarksville.
Hey, Mike, you sound terrific tonight.
Yeah, things are looking pretty good on the band. I was talking to somebody on the .52 from Murfreesboro, so he was picking up of a bunch of folks. So I think it was kind of in and out, but I think there's some funky band conditions going on.
Hey, I don't know if you heard me earlier. I was talking to a guy from Lawrenceburg, which is 80 miles south of me.
Yeah, I heard that. I think the same thing. I know this guy in Murfreesboro. I forgot where I wrote his call down somewhere, but yeah, he's 70 from me, and he was picking some guys up in Alabama and stuff. But it was fading in and out, so there's something funky going on, man.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the propagation map. I should have done that last night, but obviously 70 miles on FM is a feat, you know.
Yeah, you're coming in great tonight. You're like an S7, I think.
Yeah, you were the same between S7 and S8, so it sounds great. And you're still using that same quad in the attic?
Yeah, I told you before. I do antenna work in the wintertime.
Yeah, but you can only do so much where you are.
That's true. Unless I start to get up in the air about another 300 feet, that'd be nice.
Well, you're doing fine. Of course, the conditions. You know, I don't know if you heard it, I had two guys check in from Elkton on the last night.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I've been absent for a little bit, just been out of town and doing other things on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and that's pretty good. Elkton, that's a poke from you.
Yeah, I forget the distance, but it's obviously it's north. I think is there northeast of you a little bit?
I think it's mostly north. Actually, maybe a little bit west, actually, but certainly further from you than I am.
Yeah, I think again it was good conditions because both Bob, that I forget his call right offhand, but he's checked in before under good conditions, and this other fellow was a new guy, or new to me. Let's put it that way.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's I guess they're Trigg County. I guess maybe Christian. That's real good.
Yeah, no, it is good. I'm just glad the condition. In fact, we're seeing more. I don't know how much it affects. I really don't know how much sunspots affect 2 meters. I never really thought about it.
I've been trying to figure out 2 meters for a while now, and
I don't get it. I mean, I just, the propagation maps are one thing, and that holds a little bit of it, but sometimes it's just it comes in, and that's what's great about this net is, especially from a distance, you really try to figure out what is happening with the propagation, and I don't know. I keep saying it's like voodoo magic. I think I don't know.
Have you gone to the APRS page, the aprs.menolink.org? Have you looked at that?
Hey, it's looking hot right now.
Oh, I'm telling you, I looked at it the first time I looked at it in several days. It looked like somebody drew a fancy map on there. Everywhere is good in Middle Tennessee, going all the way south to dang, Florida.
No, I'll take a look at that. But yeah, that's good. Now,
Man, it's hot. I mean, it really is. You ought to see it. It's a big blob of really heavy propagation going south all the way almost to Cape Coral in southwest Florida.
well, that would explain it. I mean, that's like I said, this other guy from Murfreesboro said people, pretty far south, and it still doesn't explain, why it's happening. Just that it is happening, I guess.
Yeah, I know. It's just atmospheric conditions, I guess, and it's kind of, and not kind of, it is totally unpredictable.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for what you do, Paul. Let's get back to it. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, very good. That's Mike in near Clarksville, I should say, because if he was actually in Clarksville, he'd be downtown near the river, and I would never be able to hear him because the elevation at the river up there is probably 420 feet. Anyway, he's got a several element quad beam in his attic pointed in our direction, and that's Kilo 4 Golf Sierra Alpha if you want to look him up. Who else is north or west?
4G.
Hello, Jeff.
Oh, Paul and that. Not doing much here. Just kind of hanging out and waiting to check in.
Yeah, well, you're here. You got to say something good. I don't know what it is, but you got to.
Well, I'm saving my pennies to get a 991A, and hopefully I'll put this radio in my truck if I find a place to mount it.
Oh, that'd be great. Well, they make a sawzall. You can just cut right into the dashboard.
I don't want to do that. I don't have to modify anything.
Which radio are you going to put? Is that, I forget, is that the ICOM you have?
No, I don't have an icon. Just Yaesu I'm talking on now is the 7250.
Oh, yeah. I had a, that doesn't have a front that comes off, does it? So you can put the body of the radio somewhere else.
No, this one's solid all the way. I like to get up one at a detachable case. It may make the installation a little easier, but the way my truck's set up, it's kind of hard to find a place to mount anything.
Yeah, it doesn't give you a lot of room to maneuver. I know what you're talking about. But everything else going well for you in your retirement?
Yeah, just getting a few things done here and there. Whenever when I can do it, just not getting in a big hurry to do much of anything.
No, that's what's bad about retirement. Nothing has to be in a hurry.
No, that's why I like to keep it. Just when I have to do is go to the doctor appointment from time to time, and that's about it. So I just go fall asleep when I want to, and get up early and just kind of fiddle around and just try to get used to not doing anything or not really having much to do, or be say obligated to do anything.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's kind of a nice feeling, really. There's not, well, there is an obligation. You still got to get some work done and you got to make the XYL happen.
Oh yeah, I mean, that goes without saying. I do that, but just not really have to deal that daily routine. I have to, prepare to go to work and deal with all that. So, it's a nice feeling.
Oh, I agree. Well, very good. That was Jeff. He's in Madison. That's Whiskey Yankee 4 Golf, the new retiree. Who else is West?
KG4ILD, Jack and Donaldson.
Okay, I got two, and I heard Tim in there. So, but I did hear Jack first. Jack, you doing okay?
I'm doing great. Spent all afternoon in the dentist chair.
I'm surprised you survived all afternoon, really.
Yeah, but he had a beautiful dental assistant, so I made it a little easier.
Yeah, it's nice to have a distraction.
Even though she had a mask on, she had beautiful eyes.
Well, doesn't matter as long as you got a good imagination.
That's right. Well, thanks for doing that, Paul. I'll let you get on with it. KG4IOD.
Very good. That's Jack and Donaldson with Kilo Golf 4 India Lima Victor. I think I've heard Kilo. Oh, let me get the call straight here. Kilo Romeo 4 Alpha Zulu. Is that right, Tim?
Yep, I'm out here in the truck, and I was gonna try to get in. I know I might have not broke protocol, probably if you're not calling south, but I don't know how long I'm gonna be getting into the Paul repeater, as people call it. I know you don't want to be called a repeater, but anyway, I don't know how long I'll be able to get back to you. So appreciate it. Take care, Paul, and we'll tell everybody I said hello. KR4AZ, clear back to net.
Very good. That was Tim Mobile. He was actually bumping up against S9 on some occasions, a little bit of picket fencing there, but signal was good. Kilo Romeo 4 Alpha Zulu in or near Murfreesboro, I assume. And that was Tim. Who else is West?
KO4, okay.
Hello, boy. So you got some stuff done today, huh? Or this week?
Yeah, how's it sounding over there?
Well, you're doing about S7. You're doing fine. You have a good audio.
All right, that's still the same?
No, that's up at 30 over. You were much lower than that the first time.
All right, well, yeah, we got it up. It's running. It is horizontal.
That's where you are now, is on the horizontal at S7?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason. It's going to load. And what did you do? What did you move to when you went to the other? The X, which one was it?
Yeah, the X300, which is what I'm on now.
Yeah, no, the X300 does much better as a vertical, and the X, but the horizontal isn't quite cutting it, but it's still good. Still, I can hear you though.
All right, well, I am hearing some people a little bit better, but again, I realize I'm horizontal instead of vertical, so that's going to cut it too.
Yep, yep. No, being vertical would make a heck of a difference.
Well, I may try it one day if I decide to move back up on that roof, but I don't know.
Yeah, I know. No, when you put that vertical, you're going to do fine. You don't really need that horizontal 2 meter for that 2 meter 70 centimeter beam, the quad beam, which is a nice beam. But I think I'd at least for the moment save it for what you're working on at satellite work.
Yeah, this is still that A27010S, and so yeah, I'm watching the meter, and it is down a little.
Yeah. Well, very good, Roy. Anything else for the net?
No, I'm good. KO4OK now.
Yeah, very good. That's Roy. He's in Madison. Kilo Oscar 4 Oscar Kilo Echo. Good signal. He's got a quad, an 8-element quad beam. It's 8 elements on 2 meters, 8 elements on 70 centimeters on the same mast, and using that hopefully to be very successful at satellite and space shuttle, and probably don't have no more space shuttles. Communicating with the Russian satellites and the Russian cosmonauts and the moon or whatever else is up there. Anyway, who else is West?
Hey, Paul.
You.
Okay, negative on that 8-element. I'm still waiting on it to come in. This is that A27010S, so 5 elements on 2 meter and 5 on 70.
Oh, it's 5 elements. Well, you're still doing good though.
Yeah, so I just want to clarify that. I'm still, hopefully the other one will be in a few more weeks, but at least this is up and I can start, using some and checking it out. That's all. KO4OK.
Okay, very good. Roy was correcting me. He has a 5 element on the 2 meters, 5 elements on. He upgraded to the 8 element, waiting on the machine to wait for the parts to come in. Very good. Who else is West? West or South?
K3NPR South.
Hey, very good. How you doing, Mike?
Doing good. Just enjoying another wonderful evening. Listen to some of your sea stories earlier today. We had that in the snow. Yeah, definitely. I'm glad we're down here where we don't have to deal with. I think up Traverse City, we average 160 inches of snow a year.
It really did get up to 600 in the Salt Lake. I didn't know that.
Up in the Wasatch Mountains and that, I mean, it was amazing the amount of snow they could get. And, one of the years I went up there skiing, and, I think it was early February, it was real icy, and, when we started skiing, and by noon, there was over a foot and a half of fresh snow, and it's still coming down strong, and it's just amazing the amount of snow they get out west.
Yeah, and that's it's a little more than I'd care for, but I guess if I was an active skier, I'd be happy about it.
Yeah, it's that beautiful powder ski or powder snow. So it's a lot better to ski in than that hard icy stuff you get up in New England and northern Michigan. But, so when you fall, it kind of helps cushion you. Of course, it is always embarrassing to see those little kids go whipping past you. That 3 or 5-year-old skiing down a black diamond, and you're just struggling to stay up. But those are fun times. But I mean, other than the ice storms we had here last year, which are something else. I mean, we've been pretty darn lucky.
Yeah, no, we do pretty good here. It's a very mild winter, and that I mean, it doesn't seem mild when it's 20 degrees out, but it's we don't have the snow that they do out there. And I didn't realize Salt Lake got that much, but I guess I've never been in that area, so I wouldn't know that. Well, very good, Mike. That's Mike, Kilo 3, Mike Papa Romeo. He's here in Mount Juliet on the south side of 40 east of Mount Juliet Road. Who else is south?
W04Y.
Whiskey Oscar 4 Yankee. I believe that is, let me think for a second. Oh, man. I'll get your name right here in a second. Oh, that's terrible. My brain just went blank.
Yeah, you get confused. You look at QRZ, you think Bill or William. It's Mike and Laverne. Hey, I'm on the article tonight, and I heard Sierra Delta up there in Clarksville. He came in really good for a little while and kind of faded in and out.
Yeah, the conditions have been apparently good to that. He was saying I don't know if you heard him say that he had a contact with somebody in Murfreesboro.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I don't know how much power he had, but he nailed it good. But I'm surprised. That's the best I've received on this ground plane.
Yeah, which ground plane do you have again?
It's a generic deal. It's supposed to be like 3 dB gain.
Yeah, just think how good it would be with a 9 dB.
I'm going to homebrew one, I think.
Well, nothing's stopping you, man. I think you can build one. I've looked at several, and I've had with limited success. I'll say that it's going to take some work, and there are some plans. It's it makes for a very tall antenna. Well, that's the problem. Made out of parts and pieces.
Yeah, I think I've done about all I'm going to do right now here on FM. 80 miles or plus or minus about as good as you want to get.
Oh, heck yeah. Well, very good. Glad you're in there, Mike. I'm going to remember that name for some reason. It is Laverne. Yeah, very good. And you got a good signal from Laverne, but you should have. That's not that far from me. It is, just across the lake there, really. And that's Whiskey Oscar 4 Yankee Mike in Laverne. Anybody else south?
What's the bean any better now?
Oh, yeah, that's up over 25 over.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, it was bumping up, little bouncing around, but yeah. Who was that just checked in? South, please come now.
Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor.
Hello, Larry. You sound good. Have you tried any of the DX here with the conditions we got?
No, but I've been listening to it. I've heard most of it.
Yeah, no, it's been good. Like I said, it was odd yesterday evening to have somebody check in. I mean, call me from Lawrenceburg. It's like that's a heck of a ride.
Yeah, that's right. Well, let you get on with it, Paul. KE4SYB.
Yeah, that was Larry in Rockville. Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor. Anybody else south?
AB5 Echo Charlie Victor.
All right, Kilo Bravo 5 Echo Charlie Victor. That'd be Larry. How you doing, Larry?
A whole lot of data. How about you?
I'm doing really good. I haven't had my dessert yet. I like to have a nice cup of ice cream.
And I'm trying to cut back this so I can go back into my old clothes.
Well, no, I've actually, you might have heard me. I've been working on getting rid of 30 pounds of ugly fat. I could have cut off my head, but I'm going on. I'm about 25 pounds lower now, but it was just by restricting how much food I put in there, and I exercise every day. So that's the only way I know how to do it.
Get those Saturday breakfasts when you're doing it.
Well, it can, so you have to accommodate that. You can't do that every meal, and I normally don't eat lunch anyway. So it's a light breakfast and then a relatively light dinner. And if I, well, I think I only take in about 1,200 calories in the course of a day on a normal day. I don't really pay that close attention to it, but that's about what I figured. And even with ice cream, I think it's no higher than 13, 1,400. I'm burning up a couple of 3,000 a day in work and just ambulating around.
Wow, if I only consumed 1,200 calories a day, I'd be asleep in bed. I think that's like one meal for me for breakfast or lunch or whatever.
Oh no, you're right. It can be. I'll recalculate that. Now you make me want to rethink it. But my morning breakfast is usually milk with shredded wheat, and the lunch is nothing. My normal dinner is one of those lean cuisines, and then I also make up some vegetables along with it. And almost rarely do I have potatoes or squash or anything like that. It's like a dessert, and that's it really, except for that cup of ice cream. So, and all I ever drink besides that is a no calorie, like a Kool-Aid. It's not Kool-Aid, but something else.
Well, I'd like to cut back on the sugar. I think I'll be good. I'm surrounded by sugar and chocolate and sodas and everything. And if it's not around, then I don't partake of it. But when it's around, I'll always have my hand in it. That's my problem there.
Well, that's my problem too. But what I learned, especially, I don't know why I noticed it more now, is that once I cut back a lot or some, just whatever it was, I don't remember even when I started a couple 3 months ago. Number one, I'm not trying to break down any big barriers here with weight loss. I expect it's relatively slow, but by not eating sugars and sweets and bread, I do every once in a while, but by not doing that, I also don't. I'm not very hungry very often. Even at dinner, I'm not that hungry.
No, I believe it. Well, it comes and goes with me as I get older. But of course, when I was younger, remember the days we're talking like 3 full plate meals, down to like just one good plate, and a snack afterwards. But I guess depending on the activity, sometimes I'll find myself, uh, a small amount or a large amount. But nevertheless, and I know you're just speculating on the amount of intake, but I was going, shoot, if all I took in was 1,200 calories a day, that's me sleeping in bed.
Well, if you're probably way more active than I am, and that's the reason I can get away with it.
I don't know. I hear you on the radio quite a bit, so that's a lot of calories burnt right there.
Yeah, flapping my jaws. I know. I know that I referenced back, but I don't know when I went in the Navy, I was on that ship, and the Navy's good about feeding you. The food isn't gourmet, but when you see a breakfast, it's got eggs and bacon and sausage and even salad and home fries and um, sometimes pancakes and pretty good schmear of stuff. You even cottage cheese for breakfast, toast, fresh bread baked every day, and then at lunch it's a full lunch, and at dinner it's a full dinner. I'll tell you what, the first 6 months I was on that ship, I gained 40 pounds.
Oh man, you present me with free food, so to speak. I go through the line and get first and second, and I gone through a couple times. It's like comes up to the third. Or sometimes I don't want to get up or ain't got time, and I'm like cramming stuff down in my pants. I think, give me a piece of chicken. I shove it down in my pants with my plate. Eat that. Just keep on going.
No, I know it. It's funny as a mentality. And I've always liked to eat. And I didn't get to. I mean, I got up to 300 pounds one time, so you can tell I like to eat. But now I'm down to about 250, and I feel much better. But it's been up and down for me over the years because I like to eat.
Well, that sounds good. So other than that, the only thing I'm doing is listening to all the Let's Go branded videos online. Enjoying the night.
That's got to be one of the funniest memes that's happened in a long time. It really is. I don't want to elaborate on that, but it is funny because it started out with a misconception, a mishearing, or maybe it wasn't a mishearing, but it was funny though. Anyway, let me move on. That was Larry. He is in Walter Hill area, I believe. Kilo Bravo 5 Echo Charlie Victor. Who else is south?
Kilo Mike 4 Tango Mike. Hey, Paul.
Hello, Tom. I heard you a little bit on the radio today, but I was in and out. I was doing the yard work thing.
Yeah, I was in there in and out with Jim and Ken and some others, and we had some real good band openings here on 2 meters. I was on 146.52 Simplex, just shouting at a gentleman driving through he was from Wyoming or Montana or somewhere, and he was just driving through on his way over to Johnson City, I think, in East Tennessee. Talked to him a little bit, and then just got a pile up. Had station from Florence, Alabama, and let's see, Lexington, Tennessee, and up around Clarksville, and up in southern Kentucky, just all kind of good distance stations. I think the bands in general are really starting to look up.
Well, they look better for those who have antennas where the top of them are at 100 feet.
Well, yeah, that definitely helps. There's no doubt about it. I think if I wouldn't have been able to do that if I'd have been down at the 50-foot level. So it definitely makes a difference. All right, Paul, my voice is failing me, so I'm gonna say good evening to you into the net. That's about all I have. We're just watching a movie over here, so 73, and good evening. Thanks for running the net. K4 PEW, KM4TM.
Yeah, very good, Tom. Tom, you're gonna with your signal. I think I heard Larry over there, your neighbor, putting up a very large wall on his side, on your side of his estate.
Well, every time Larry keys up, smoke comes out of the back of my radio because he's like a million over S9. You know, he just puts he puts my S meter into parts unknown.
Aren't you glad he doesn't have a beam pointed in your direction?
I'm very glad because I'd have to buy a new radio.
Very good. That was Tom in Rockdale. Kilo Mike 4 Tango Mike, and he got this past week. He got his new tower up, and he's got the X700 up in the air about at the top of it, about 100 feet, and he's hearing everybody everywhere, and his signal is awesome. His audio is awesome. His signal's awesome. Can't do any better than that. Who else is south or anyone?
K1SPD. Oh,
Hey, Scott, where are you mobiling tonight?
out in the driveway. How about that tick 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 noise? Is it there?
No.
Hey, and they have fixed it.
Is the car running?
Oh yeah, I'm sitting here running. I put some ferrite beads on the power supply line, and yeah, that may have done it.
Well, I don't hear a thing. Nothing.
Well, that's why I'm mobile. So I've come out here and talked to somebody that has heard it before.
Hell yeah. Give me one. Just give me a dead key for a few seconds. Okay, you did. Add a couple more beads because what I can hear is not the ticking, but I can hear the same beat of a flutter. And I actually had to, that's why I asked for the dead key. I could barely hear it.
Okay, well, I bought a couple of dozen, of them a few days ago. We'll try that, but not tonight. All right, Paul, thank you. I'm going to go back inside and listen to it on the YouTube there. Thanks much. K1SPD.
Yeah, I don't think I would have even noticed it had you not asked me for it. How does it sound?
Okay, well, the good judge is Marion on the 015. He always knows when I key up.
Oh yeah, he would too. Yep. Yeah, he's got a good ear. Very good. That's Scott. He's in Laverne in his driveway, but Kilo 1 Sierra Papa Delta, great signal, and he's had that issue with the Kenwood radio that seems sensitive to alternator noise, clicking. Sounds like a motorboat. I've heard it from other radios as well. I mean, other Kenwoods, not just his. Who else is south or anywhere?
Whiskey 4, Mike Uniform Foxtrot.
Hey, Jimmy, you doing well?
Yeah, doing pretty good, Paul. Had a pretty good band opening on 15 meters today. Talked to a guy in South Africa like he was next door.
Oh, that's awesome. And which antenna were you using that one?
I was just using the hex beam.
Yeah, it's funny. We often, well, let's put it this way. We tend to think our antenna is doing all the work, and more often than not, it's the conditions that are doing all the work.
Yeah, I agree with that. Propagation is everything in ham radio. I'm learning, I'm trying to figure out how to build a antenna for top bands though.
Well, that's tough because well, I know a couple people that've got big 160 loops up there, but you got to have the property for it.
Yeah, 160 loops would be too big for my backyard. I think it's like 550 something feet. That's just way too big.
You could put up a half wave 160, which would be good for 80, and you could do something on 160, like an end fed half wave.
Well, I talked to a guy who we should know. He says a loop primary frequency is just sort of a quad one. You don't get the low low until you start going up in harmonics.
Yeah, well, he probably knows. I'm sure he knows more than I do. But I've actually seen people who have like they'll have an 80-meter loop, and it's vertically, up in the air.
Oh yeah, well, I'm working on a vertical antenna with a floating cold base.
Ah, very good. Well, it sounds like you're having fun.
Oh yeah.
Very good. That was Jimmy, Whiskey 4 Mike Uniform Foxtrot, talking to South Africa, clear as a bell. That's nice. I've never talked to South Africa. Never. It's interesting. I got to get back on the air and point something in that direction. Anybody else late check-in?
Oscar for Tango Golf X-ray, John and Juliet.
Hey, John. You sound good.
Thanks, Bob.
I don't remember which radio and antenna are you using.
So this week's a little different. I actually bought one. I've been doing a lot of homebrewed. Got a little elevation on the other one, so I haven't heard much tonight because this is actually a mobile antenna, Diamond CR 8900 on the truck. So just a mobile antenna with a TYT.
Ah, okay. That's 5 watts on the TYT.
I put about 25 watts out.
Oh, okay. It's the mobile TYT. I got you. Whenever I hear TYT, I think of my handheld. I've got a TYT handheld. So yeah, TYT makes some nice radio.
It's cheap, so that's what I'm doing. But I'm interested in actually quad band antennas. I'm interested to hear the 10-meter net tonight, so I'll listen to that as well.
Well, now that quad band is good for 10-meter FM, is it not?
It's supposed to be good for 10-meter, but it's one of those quad bands. It's supposed to do everything, but doesn't do anything really good.
Well, the quad bands I'm familiar with, and that may not be one of them, but they were all 2 meters, 70 centimeters, 10 meter, and 6 meters, and they were all FM.
That's right. That's what this one is.
But we're going to be on upper sideband antenna. And we can do that later if you want to.
Oh, no, I'm just going to see if I can hear it. I probably won't be able to participate, but I just want to see if I can hear anything on it.
All right, very good. That was John here in Mount Juliet, Kilo Oscar 4 Tango Golf X-ray. Anybody else, any place, anywhere?
Kilo Oscar 4 Sierra India Bravo.
Ah, very good. Kilo Oscar 4 Sierra India Bravo, and I have forgotten your first name.
John.
Oh, I got 2 Johns in a row. That's great. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Enjoying the nice cool evening.
Yeah, we enjoy the cool evening until it gets down into the 30s, and then it doesn't feel so good.
That's right. Yeah, then you don't want to keep all the windows closed. Heat on.
Well, I'm always happy when the heat works, when the cold weather hits, because I'm just praying it doesn't go out on me.
Yeah, that's always a bad thing when you wake up in the middle of the night. Like, I don't think the heat's working out.
Well, we had that event in March with that tornado, and we lost all power here because a tornado came down at the end of my street here. Lost all the power and lost, and so we were sitting here with flashlights and candles and no heat. And in March, it's still a little, the 4th or I think it was the 4th or 5th of March, still a little cool. And it was cool getting up in the morning.
Yeah, I remember that. I was glad I had a gas fireplace.
Yeah, no, it was actually it was kind of nice. We didn't miss it too much. There was no TV. I had the ham radio. We had the regular radio. The frequencies, and So it wasn't such a bad thing. It was just that cool getting up in the morning.
You know, that kind of shock when you get out of bed. That's always not that fun.
Yeah, I lived through it though. Listen, I grew up in the north. I should be capable. I did. I withstand. I don't mind the cold weather really. It's just that when you're used to the normal weather we have here in Tennessee, to not have heat on a cool morning, it's a little disconcerting.
Yes, it is.
And plus, you couldn't make coffee. It was really funny how people reacted to it. I said, "Boy, I gotta heat up some coffee." And my wife says, "Well, can't you put it in the microwave oven?" I go, "Yeah, I would if we had power."
Yeah, no, I ended up having to dig an old camping stove that I've got out, uh, to grill on the deck, so get meals prepared.
Yeah, no, it's nice to be prepared. You're right. And we lost most of the food in our freezer and that kind of stuff. But we got by. We'll live. That was John, Kilo Oscar 4 Sierra India Bravo. He's here in Mount Juliet, and he's on his mobile antenna on a TYT radio on 25 watts. In case you couldn't hear him. Anybody else? Any place? Anywhere?
Echo Alpha Charlie.
I know that's not your whole call there. That's Whiskey 4 Echo Alpha Charlie. How you doing there? Hello, Alan. You drop out on me, Alan?
Say again.
You dropped out on me. I said, hello, Alan. Whiskey 4 Echo Alpha Charlie.
Hey, Paul. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, just got in from the office. We had a meeting today with some Japanese and a guy from Switzerland investors. So, but the good news is they are going to keep, if they buy the company, they're going to keep it here in Tennessee. They like it here, so who knows?
Well, I'm glad they like it here because it is nice here.
Yeah, well, they're looking at all the variables, of course, that comes into businesses, but I think they like the fact that Tennessee is booming with the hottest, like the hottest spot on the U.S. map right now. Who knows? So anyway, but I've got to head off to La La Land, so I will try to get with you soon. Are you going to call? I heard you say something about 10 meters.
Oh, yeah, we got a 10-meter following right now. I mean, as soon as we finish here.
All right, let me go over and see if I can put this partially defunct big stick in the vertical mode in operation. So I'll catch you guys over on 415.
Very good. That was Alan in Donaldson. Whiskey 4 Echo Alpha Charlie. Anybody else before we move over to 10 meters? Very good. Last call for lollygaggers, lurkers, sandbaggers, and scanner listeners. All righty. We had 32 check-ins. That seems to be their kind of new normal for numbers here, around 32. We're going to move over to 28.415 upper sideband, unless I hear an objection. Very good. Scott, are you still in the car? No, he's not. I asked a question about that radio that antenna he was selling. Moving over to 28.415. This is Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey, Paul with the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net on 28.415, looking for check-ins from the south or east. Please come on. Nobody from the east, K4PEW, looking for check-ins from the east. Check-ins from the north, please come in.
Kilo Bravo 9, Romeo Kilo Kilo.
All right, Frank, sound real good. It's a little muffled. Is there something different about your microphone?
I don't believe so.
You'd have to listen for it at 19 minutes after the hour here. So you see what I'm talking about. It sounds like it's not, the audio is fine. It's just a little muffled. That's
Weird. Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, no, it's not horrible. It's just thought I'd mention it. It's not very crisp and clear like I'm used to hearing. Anyway, that was Kilo Bravo 9 Romeo Kilo Frank here in northwest Mount Juliet. Who else is north?
WD0NOL.
See, yours is the audio articulation that Frank needs.
Who, me?
Yeah, Mark. Did you hear? Could you heard Frank all right? Didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I can just put the window down in here, Frank.
Well, does his audio sound a little muffled to you? It's not sharp and crisp.
Yeah, it's just a little bassy. What's that?
No, no, it's not horrible. It's not what I remember him sounding like before. That's all.
Roger. Yeah, he sounded okay, but I know what you're saying. He was a little bassy.
Yep, very good. That was Mark Kilo, Whiskey Bravo Zero, November Oscar in Northwest. Yeah, we're gonna say Northwest Wisconsin, Northwest Wilson County. Who else is north? Please come in.
Kilo Charlie 9 Echo Tango Sierra.
Yeah, yours also sounds very sharp and clear there, Paul.
Oh, that's good to hear. Thanks.
Yeah, well, again, we're not too far apart. Oh, you're using that 43-foot vertical, aren't you?
Yeah, still using it.
Yeah, that sounds like a good deal. I was looking at that, and well, I was tempted.
It does pretty good. It's not awesome on 10 meters, but it works okay. But I'd say it's awesome on 40 meters.
Cool. Yeah, I was looking at whose model do you have? Oh, you had you had the what you call it, the engineering group there.
Yeah, DX Delta X-ray.
Yeah, that's another little brain freeze. But yeah, no, they got some nice antennas in that variety.
Yeah, they do, and they got plenty of things to kits or whatnot. You can build yourself crazy.
Very good. That was Paul here in Mount Juliet, Kilo Charlie 9 Echo Tango Sierra. I say in Mount Juliet, he's a little bit north of me. Who else is north? North or west? Please come down. Whiskey Yankee 4 Golf. I got you in there, Jeff. He's a little light on the audio, but signal, which I can hear you.
Okay, well, I don't know why I'm all light on the audio. Just same equipment. Got my antenna, handheld mic. That's what I've been using.
Well, again, you're horizontal on the dipole, right?
That is correct. Yep.
Okay, well, that would be a part of the difference there too. I mean, mine is vertical and yours is horizontal.
Let's work on it. Hey, Paul.
Yeah, Alan.
Yeah, unless Jeff can hear me, it sounds like he's got maybe the DSP, if he's got that on that. I don't know what he's using right now, but it sounds like I just started looking at it with the IF filters, and he's more rendered to around 1.9 kilohertz. So he's running narrow for some reason, it sounds like.
Yeah, it does. Your signal sounds real narrow there, Jeff.
Okay, well, I don't really know what to do. Using the Pentec Jupiter, so looking through the menu now, I'm not sure which was a really, change anything.
Have him go to the transmitter section.
Yeah, just look in the transmitter section there, Jeff. I'm not familiar with it. I'm getting some cues here from Alan at W4EAC.
Hey, Jeff.
Yes, Alan.
Yeah, go to the transmitter section. I don't have it in front of me as far as the book goes or the operator's manual, but just go to the transmitter section. Either look under DSP or look at the carrier offset. That'll change the frequency, but you're running about 1.8 to 1.9. You'd be perfect for DXing because of the pileups, but you have no low-end audio whatsoever.
Okay, well, did that change anything?
Not yet.
Okay, well, trying to tweak the transmit filter, but the bandwidth on it, but apparently it's not helping anything.
Yeah, what microphone do you have?
Pentec handheld mic.
Okay, keep looking under the transmitter section, and you probably have to go to the section that pertains to single sideband. So you should be able to see the either DSP, which you'll be able to change that depending on the software they've installed, and or go to the transmit bandwidth. I was thinking that Jupiter, if I'm not mistaken, I remember going to Tentec and having that on display. I believe that thing should go up to 3.2 kilohertz, but I could be wrong about that.
Okay, well, I don't know. What was it for? They must figure it out.
Well, after Paul's done
over the net. I'll hang tight and I'll help you real quick if you got a few minutes. Sure. I can help. I'm out hang out. Okay. All right, Paul. Thanks a bunch. And check me in, by the way.
Yep, very good. That was Alan, Whiskey 4 Echo Alpha Charlie. And we also had Jeff, Whiskey Yankee 4 Golf, with a little bit of technical talk there. And Jeff is in, of course, Madison, and Alan's in Donaldson. Whiskey 4 Echo. I just want to make sure I got that down right. Who else is north or west?
Kilo Golf 4, India Lima Victor, Jack and Donaldson.
Hey, Jack, you need to stop over and kick Chris in the butt. He's not very consistent here.
Yeah, I keep waiting for him to check in before me, and I don't hear him.
He's probably got a girlfriend with a ring in his nose.
I remember those days.
Yeah, that's right. That's Kilo Echo 4, Kilo Golf 4, India Lima Victor. That's Jack and Donaldson. Who else is west or anywhere? Hey, Greg, you got you in there, but there was a double or a triple. That's Kilo Delta 4 Charlie, Victor Echo, Greg, and Antioch. Nice signal. Who else was behind that?
Bravo 5, Echo Charlie Victor.
Hey, there you go. How you doing there, Larry? You sound good.
Well, just sitting in here missing my big antenna days just on the G5RC. That's about it.
No, the G5RV is doing a good job for you.
Well, I can hear some of the other stations out there, but they kind of more or less sound like backscatter. I just remember the days. That's all. Just get envious about that launch equipment.
Yeah, very good. That's Larry in Walter Hill area on the G5RV, Kilo Bravo 5, Echo Charlie Victor, right? ECV. It is Echo Charlie Victor, right? I can all I have to do is read my own writing here.
Roger.
Yes, ECV. Yeah, I got it. Echo Charlie Victor. I scribbled something there and it didn't make sense. All right, anybody else? Any place, anywhere? Please come now. All right, hold on, Tom. Gotcha. Whiskey 4 Mike, Uniform Foxtrot Jimmy. You sound real good.
Roger. Thank you.
Very good. You're vertical on that one? Or is that on the hex?
I'm on the tall vertical now.
Okay, no, that's you can tell. That really is a good signal. Good audio. Tom, I heard you in there. Kilo Mike 4, Tango Mike.
Yeah, hey, Paul, I'm sorry. I had to close the door and got the TV on in another room. Yeah, good evening. Now, copy KM4TM on the 3-element stepper at 75 feet. I'm looking a little bit west of Dew Point.
I'm telling you, you show no signal on my radio. I'm copying you okay, but it's a relatively low audio. I mean, it's copyable. Don't misunderstand me, but with that stepper, I would expect it to be much better.
Okay, well, you're at S9 here. I hear you just fine. So I guess you on your vertical?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's the problem. I'm horizontal and you're vertical. That takes a lot off right there.
Yeah, no, but what's amazing to me is you should have on that stepper. I don't know what it is because I don't remember the specs on that. If I ever did know, that thing's got to have I don't know, a 7 or 8 dB gain, and that should overcome something to give me some indication on my meter.
I don't know. I'm not running much power, so that may be it. I don't know. I'm just doing all I know to do.
No, like I said, you're copyable, no problem, Tom. It's not like it's a big deal. I'm just saying that I'm surprised that with that stepper, you're not showing anything on my receiver.
Well, like I said, you're bouncing between an S7 and an S9 here, so I'm hearing you a lot better than you're hearing me.
Yeah, that's funny. That seems kind of odd because it sure does break the rule of reciprocity, doesn't it?
Yeah, how much power are you running?
Just a little bit on. No, I'm running 100.
Okay. Well, I don't know how to explain it, Paul. It's just one of them weird things. Maybe I'm not pointing that. Maybe I need to move a little bit more east of north. I figured you were pretty much straight north of me.
I think you are. Well, let me move on. That was Tom in Rockville, Kilo Mike 4, Tango Mike. He's on a 3-element stepper, which I expected to be better signal than that. I hear the audio, but that just confuses me, and it confuses Tom because he was showing me his S7 or so. Who else is any place, anywhere? All righty, I think that wraps it up. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, that was a big night here with 11 check-ins. So I appreciate everybody. We're missing a couple, like Mike's out of pocket tonight. Mike Cam4YRF. And so is Rick. He's over. He's out of pocket as well. So we would have had even a bigger net, but everybody can't make every net. So I appreciate everybody being there, and look forward to the total. I was 32 on the FM, and it was 11 on the upper sideband on 10 meters. So we'll catch you guys later. Closing the net. K4PD.